Hello and welcome to our 5 minutes with Ekaterina war vlog about Dnipro, the central Ukraine. And today I would like just to update you on the situation, and probably you noticed that it's been a while since I was talking to you. It's almost 1 month now, and I was thinking that there should be a better moment, maybe something is going to improve, and then I'll record the video with some more uplifted mood. But nothing good is actually happening, and I decided that I need to go online and just talk about what's happening as it is. The thing is that Dnipro is bombed regularly, and the bombings are not as massive as we had over Christmas, for example, when there were more than 100 bombs in Ukraine and more than 40 bombs in our region, and there were massive explosions, and I heard the sound of the rocket flying. It's not like that. But a few days ago, the rocket directly hit the residential building. It destroyed the top floor. Thankfully, in this particular building, the top floor is the technical floor. It's kind of half floor where people don't live, where there is ventilation, some elevator constructions, and some storage rooms. That means that people did not die, but there were many wounded people, and all the windows in the building were gone. That's the again direct arrival of the Russian rocket. And also in a different place at the same day, yes, there were debris which fell on people's houses because of anti-missiles. Anti-missile system worked, and the debris still flying basically on the ground. So even if the rocket is hit and didn't reach its target, it's still dangerous for people. And Russians are not stopping, and they are not going to stop. Many people from abroad ask me, do you feel changes after the elections in America? And the answer is, regretfully, these changes are for worse, not for better, because for the next 3 months, the United States of America stopped any help to Ukraine, particularly military, but also the help with the energy infrastructure, because they had a program called USAID, which was working in Ukraine since my more or less active civil life, and it's definitely more than 10 years when they're present in Ukraine. And they did a lot of projects, and some of these projects, they were infrastructural projects, when they sent this money to help us rebuilding the energy infrastructure, which is hit all the time by Russians. And now for the next 3 months, this money will not come to the country, which means that this damage that Russians do as a result of bombing, it will still be managed somehow, but it more than like 90% of support, maybe 80% of support that went on it, it will be gone. And February and March are the coldest months now in Ukraine because of the global warming, but traditionally February was the coldest month, and that means that people will be less secure in terms of energy infrastructure. Currently, right now, it's not crucial. They just literally this week stopped this help. We did not know about it. There was no official warning in advance when you can prepare. And because this aid is not coming, we don't know what will happen in a month. But right now, it's warm, and since the beginning of the month, we didn't have blackouts, which is very good. But it is predicted that as the weather is going to get even colder, these blackouts will just return. And in terms of the front line is even closer, and Russians hit by cab rockets, and cab rockets, they are very dangerous because you cannot intercept it with anti-missile systems. They are shorter range missiles. They started to reach Dnipro region, and some villages in Sinelnikovo region. It is very close to Dnipro itself, but it's a part of our region. In this small area, they already received the recommendation to evacuate, and if not evacuate adults, but to evacuate children. Right now, it's not the official warning which you will receive and you have to act, but it is more like recommendation for people. But if this recommendation is in place, it means that Russians are even closer than I thought, and the front line is moving westward, and we don't know at what point we will reach the situation when we don't have enough people and Russians will just invade the territories which are now very deep in the area, and it might happen. I'm listening to the military bloggers. They say that the more strain is, the more pressure is put on our soldiers in this number, because they're not rotated, they're very tired. There are more chances that at some point Russians would be able just to take over and to basically occupy the territories without much resistance. So regretfully, we are on this point, and it's a very low point. If you compare the whole war, probably we are somewhere in the very beginning of maybe April of 2022, when Russians only invaded. So now we are in the same situation without weapons, without the American support, with Russians advancing, with the situation when we don't have enough manpower, and with massive bombings that we cannot stop. That's the situation right now. It's not improving. It's not improving. It's deteriorating with American elections, and that's what's happening. And also, I wanted to talk, just to tell you the story of why I think it's no, I do make my mind, and the story just shocked me, and that's one more argument towards understanding that it's not Putin's war, it's Russians' war, and Russians are responsible for it, because after the occupation of Ukrainian North region, there was a Russian soldier who raped a woman, a young woman, and he kidnapped her from her family house afterwards, because he said that unless she is coming with him, he will shoot all her family. And with his friends, he was not acting alone, and he kidnapped her and brought her to Russia. And in Russia, he put her in the apartment, and he beaten her, he raped her regularly. She decided to commit a suicide, and because of this, he brought her to hospital. And in hospital, she told her story to the personnel. And in hospitals, there were men, women, all civilians, all nice people, these Russians with mysterious Russian soul. And what they did, they sent her back to him. They did not report her to the police. They did not give her the opportunity to connect with her family. They did not give her the opportunity to tell her family and tell Ukrainian forces, because we have some power in Russia itself. Our intelligence have power, and our prosecutors know what to do. So they did not give her a chance to connect with the Ukrainian side, who would be able to help her, and instead they sent her back to him without any questions. They just did it. So it's Russians. They hate us, and they just opted to send this innocent young woman to this basically unhuman soldier. And the only way she escaped this was because he happened to be the deserter of the Russian army. So he was under this arrest warrant, and after he was arrested, they discovered her in this apartment. And that's how she, after she got to this system, to the Russian military system, they actually brought her home through the exchange channels, which are there, which are in place. And now she's at home. She is devastated. She is treated medically. She's also working with psychologists, and the Ukrainian side is collecting the materials for the prosecution. But the problem here is that this man will never be prosecuted, because he's in Russia, he's under so-called Russian justice or injustice. But here in all these stories, there are many crimes that Russians are committing in Ukraine. In all this story, I'm not talking about this one person, I'm talking about these doctors, nurses, and medical personnel who were treating this woman and sending her back to the person who did it to her. And that's Russians, that's mysterious Russian soul, and that shows that it is the war of Russian people, Russian citizens, all these innocent men, women, doctors, nurses against us. It's a genocide. They want to kill us all. And they will not stop on us. They will, after they suppress us, after they just make us silent, and they will become the governors of Ukraine, they will move on. So that's my message today. I'm not optimistic. It's a very low moment. It's a very dangerous moment, not only for Ukraine, but to all Europe. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry for being so depressing, but trust me, my feelings are way worse than you might even hear through my voice now. Thank you for your support. Thank you for promoting Ukraine. Thank you for promoting our interests. I hope that this is not in vain, that we will win in this war, and Russians will have the punishment they deserve. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you very soon under way better circumstances. Goodbye for now.